What's up, MB fam? Welcome to another edition of MB's Sports Review. For those of you all who aren't familiar with what I do here, I basically take what Sports Center does and TMZ and basically mash them up together. So basically how Sports Center talks mostly about football and baseball, I talk beyond that. I talk about baseball, WWE, and other stuff. And then TMZ, I get personal, but not too personal. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, I got a lot I want to talk about today, especially WWE and where their heads at. Yeah. Yeah. A lot's going on here because, by the way, if you hear me chewing, it's because I just got off work. Not all of my videos are going to be specifically based off me getting off work, so, but it will be centered around that because I get really tired and sometimes I just want to go ahead and get it done. I feel like some of you might know what I mean, but anyway, before I forget, I'm also working on, sorry, I had a little reflux. I'm also working on a Valentine's Day Music Monday, so look out for that. It's going to consist of, if you ever seen my past videos where I think it's just one now because I had to delete a couple of them because of copyright reasons, but I think it's still one that's still up. I think the grandma's ballad one. I'll have to double check, but anyway, it's going to be a three-parter where it's like three different songs. So basically, it's one song, then another song, then another song. So it's going to be kind of like a mini album, and it'll have the title card separating it. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you all here forever. I do want to go ahead and get into everything I can about this because it's a lot that's really juicy. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get it cracking, and let's get started. Stated before, my producer Malcolm is still out. So if you see me looking right, it's because I'm looking at my computer. But we're not going to get into that. So anyway, let's go. WWE. I think my biggest problem with WWE in the last few months is because they've released more of their talent Well, let's put it this way. They've released, in the last, let's say, 8 months, they've released more talent from their roster than most NFL players do in 5 years. And in the last 5 years, have in the last 5 years, right? That's insane. In the last 8 months alone, well, not even 8 months. Well, yeah, 8 months. They've released more than 40, more than 40 people from their roster, and now with the Royal Rumble coming up, they have to bring superstars. Like I said, I apologize. The gas coming up. Sorry. What was that? Yeah, they have to bring superstars who are not part of the roster. So, like the Bellas, Mickey James, and we'll get into her later, a little bit later, when we talk about Impact. To be a part of the Women's Royal Rumble. So, my thing is, like, I completely understand, like, if you had to hire, like, probably like some low level talent, like some that you just aren't really invested in, but we're talking like talent, one, that people actually care about, two, they can actually wrestle, three, their merch is like selling like hotcakes. So my thing is, does it really make sense to cut one of your players? I know they're not technically players, but in this sense, they're, we'll just call them players, even though it's wrestlers in this point. Like, they really don't have rosters, so they keep using the same people. Like, if you, so first of all, if you are a fan of WWE and you watch consistently, you notice they keep using the same people because they really don't have a roster or anybody who can sell. But yeah, that's my thing. Is like Keith Lee, Tony Storm. Who else? Ember Moon. I think I've only cared about maybe 1/4 of Hit Row, but I, well, whatever. Uh, yeah, that's my thoughts on WWE. Moving on to AEW. AEW has not been around as long as WWE, but they, I feel like as of right now, are probably the highest players to beat right now. First of all, they're actually listening to their wrestlers, their roster, whatever. Not a lot of companies do that. Let's rewind that. Not a lot of sports franchises do that. Like, they'll say, okay, we'll do this, but here's what you have to do. Like they'll literally let their players choose their own characters, and then XYZ go from there. Like they're working with them and not just giving them something on a platter. So that's one of the many things that I love from Tony Khan and AEW is that they are allowing their wrestlers to legit be themselves and build storylines around the character that they built. It's amazing. But real quick before I get sleepy, I want to move on to Impact Wrestling, which is another favorite of mine. Well, it's not my favorite, but it's becoming my favorite because for many reasons. Most of their talent is former talent from WWE, like Matt Cardona, who used to be Zack Ryder, to Neil Dashwood, who formerly known as Emma, and then we have the Inspirations, who used to be the Iconics. And then, well, she's not the champion anymore, but Deonna Purrazzo, who also used to be a part of WWE. The one thing I love about Impact Wrestling is that Scott D'Amore, who is the VP, I'm not sure if he's the head man in charge, but every time I watch Impact, he has something to do with Impact Wrestling and what goes on. And the decision making, basically. But yeah, it's on. They tape once a week, and like literally every time I watch Impact Wrestling, they have all these different characters. Uh, Moose, Rosemary, um, Sammy Callahan. I could go on for days. But literally every time I watch a match, every Thursday, I get something new. Like I'm never bored. I also want to say this before it's too late. But yeah, that's my thoughts on most well not most, some of Impact Wrestling and AEW's roster are from, and I think I've mentioned this already, but their roster are former wrestlers from WWE. It's amazing how they can go from one place to another to another. So the way I would stack this to wrap it up is AEW, Impact, WWE, and I say this mostly because WWE is not really giving me, well, it's giving me what I want, but it's not giving me what I want. I guess that's how I would put it. As well as what Impact Wrestling and AEW is like giving me when I watch it. Because nowadays, when I record, when I watch WWE, I DVR it. Because if it bores me, I'm going to skip straight past it. Because, like, that's how boring it's gotten to me at this point. I just don't see anything that I think you get. I just don't see anything that really captivates me anymore. Well, I don't say anymore, but not as much as it used to do, like maybe 20 years ago. But yeah, that's my take on it. Hopefully you all got something from this because just wanted to get that out there. Uh, but be sure to look out for my Valentine's Day videos. Well, video. It'll be one long video. I'm not sure how long it will be out. But yeah. Anyway, that's all for this edition of MB's music review. MB's sports review. And as always, stay safe and be blessed.